Hi there. So this is another pick a card. And on this one is specifically for twin flame connections. And the question that we're going to ask is, what do your Akashic Records most want to tell you in relation to your twin flame connection to do with 2020? Okay, so that's specifically what we're going to look at. This is a timeless reading, so whether you look at it before 2020 or during 2020, this will still be relevant, okay, because that's the intention set with the reading. Cool, so just before we go on, I'm going to choose 3 piles, but obviously just a quick thing, you can find me on Instagram on AbigailGrace2311, post lots of psychic stuff there. I have Facebook, Twitter, also check out my other YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, post loads of psychic tools on there, and I'll be doing loads more videos within the next week or so, couple of weeks, and then I also have an Etsy shop if you would like a reading with me or to look at some of the products that I have. But now let's go straight into this reading. So I'm going to do this slightly different, but it's similar to the other 2020 pick a card that I did. With this, what I want you to do is just feel into where your answer lies. Is it in the middle of the deck, this side of the deck, or this side of the deck? Okay. And then just go with your first intuitive response. So if it's in this side of the deck, it's pile number 1, which is this card. If it is this side of the deck, it's pile number 2. And if it is right in the middle, it's pile number 3. Okay, so just feel into it. Go with your first feeling, response, your intuitive feel with it all. Okay, and now let's go straight into pile number 1. Okay, so this is for everybody that chose pile number 1 as holding their message from their Akashic Records to do with what they most need to know to do with their twin flame connection and 2020. So let's see. I'll let you know any sort of channeled messages that I get, anything at all like that. You obviously feel into yourself as well and see what comes up. So let's see, number 1, message number 1 for 2020. Just bear with me a moment, I'm just getting some visuals, but I'm just like trying to make sense of them. Just 1 second, because there's quite a few coming in. Okay, so what I see is I see quite a lot of communication going off in 2020 for you and your twin flame connection. I also get the sense that there's like a real sense of wanting to work as a team during 2020 and like wanting to establish kind of like a bond that's much more tangible within physical reality. So I guess this will just mean, depending on where you're already at to do with things, like whether you are not in communication, whether you are in communication, whether you see each other actually meet up with each other or you don't, I feel like there'll be a progression onto the next stage, and that will depend for each of you as to where you actually already are within that setup. But it definitely seems like there's like, because I kind of see like 2 people just wanting to it's not like quite hold hands, but like just wanting to walk side by side is kind of what I'm seeing, and it feels like quite laughy, quite jokey. Occasionally though it seems like it's going to go into a bit of, let's say, an argument or disagreement, but it just seems like it's just about to go into that more kind of like antagonistic phase, and then something happens and it just softens the vibe, and then you carry on laughing and joking and talking things through. So I kind of feel like it feels that 2020, your Akashic Records want you to know that all communication is going to be much smoother and much more consistent. However, you still need to be mindful of whatever are the triggers that you both stimulate within each other, because they're still going to be present in 2020, but it's kind of like you'll have so much more conscious awareness about these triggers within each other that you're able to diffuse them and work with them without them causing some disconnection again in whatever way that might be. That's massively what I'm getting for this pile. Let's just see what else we get though. It kind of feels like as well, like I'm getting from this spread already, that there's quite a bit of balance. It feels like there's quite a bit of balance and harmony. And I feel as well that this is not just to do with your connection, but let's face it, obviously remember the twin flame connection is really just a reflection for where you are at within your relationship with yourself, and that there gets mirrored through where you're at with your twin. So this also tells me there's a lot more balance and harmony going off within you and your own life too. And your Akashic Records are also just saying that the two words literally for you to do with your twin flame connection and ultimately to do with your relationship with yourself is balance and harmony. So if you can, it's just really important that you keep those two things stable, and actually just think about this from every level, from like your nutrition to your exercise to your routines to how you communicate with family, friends, work colleagues. The whole thing is about balance and harmony. And it's also about, I'm getting this really strongly, and they're saying this is correct to do with that vision that I had of the two people walking together, almost sort of playful, having fun, but then almost arguing, but then diffusing it. I'm getting that this is like, it really is about you playing with your edges to do with how you communicate with others and being really honest, even if that means you know it won't necessarily be well received from somebody else, but you do it in such a way that it's a lot softer and it's not really judgmental in any way, so that then the other person feels that even though you have a different opinion to do with something, it doesn't in any way trigger them or make them feel defensive in a certain way. And I think you're going to get that because overall the way that you communicate is going to become from a much more harmonious, balanced space. And my guides are saying that the reason as well why you're going to get that is because you guys have been working on yourself, and you're kind of like you've kind of like, can't really describe it. It's like you're bridging the gap between extremes within your own self and within your life. So therefore it means that even when you go into a conversation where you know maybe somebody might not be, you know, it's not necessarily what they want to hear, but it's your honest truth, you're able to do it with almost like so much more grace because you're so much closer to the midway point of the balance and harmony within yourself. So this is also making me feel that this pile has massively worked at kind of balancing their masculine and feminine energies within their own being. And this is going to start to be reflected, if it's not already, within masculine and feminine areas of your life, and therefore also within your twin flame connection. One other thing as well my guides are also saying, which is important for you guys to be mindful of, is you're at a stage in your twin flame connection on whatever level it's at where each one of you is going to be dancing between, first of all, they are the more masculine energy than you and you're the more feminine, and then something else will happen and then you become the more masculine energy and they become the more feminine. So you're going to be working with this like kind of dancing together of these different parts within you, and that will also get reflected out within the relationship. This is also, my guides are saying, is an additional thing to do with whatever you're trying to create in your life, if it's like money, house, life purpose, fitness, wellness, whatever it might be, that's also outside of this twin flame connection. It's really useful as well for you to understand this thing about flow, where be really, really specific about what you want and take all your action to do with it. But then when life starts to basically suggest to you that now you need to go in the opposite direction to what you were going, you kind of want to be able to easily and smoothly move from like one place to another place to another place to another place, seemingly opposites, but doing it in such a graceful way that it flows. And it's kind of like, if you can do this, you will be able to first of all notice and then accept every type of opportunity that life brings to you. But it is this thing about knowing how to be harmonious and having balance between differences, or like different belief systems or different actions or different points of view, and you also want to apply that to whatever it is that you're creating. So let's see what we get. So the first one you got here was gifted. That's really pretty. Once again, that kind of seems actually quite harmonious, and it seems like balanced. And it's kind of like whichever way you turn it, it's still beautiful, and it's got this symmetry going off between it. Kind of feel like that's kind of the point for you guys as well. And we have the goddess, which is overlapped by the future. Nice. And here we have abundance, wonder, this is good, transformation, and then we have 4 of drums, which is 4 of pentacles. We have 8 of swords, and we have King of wands. So I'm just going to put this a bit like that so you can still see the energies. So you feel into this and so will I, and let's see what we get on top of what we've already channeled. So what your Akashic Records most wants to tell you to do with your twin flame connection in 2020. Okay, so on top of what we've already said, I also really feel like, particularly with these 2 cards here, well, actually these 3 cards, so King of Wands, the Goddess, and Transformation, that actually I just feel that both of you within this connection are going to be, you're going to be so much more confident, not just in how you communicate and interact with each other, which would then make sense with how I'm saying that it's important that you say how you feel, but it goes well because you're not actually expressing it from a place of insecurity. You're just expressing it from a place of, but this is my truth. And actually your twin flame will always appreciate and respect that vibration, okay, when it's coming from that pure place. So, I mean, I'm definitely getting that you'll both be doing that, because also we've got here such a powerful masculine energy and such a powerful feminine energy, and then we've got the beautiful transformation stone in between. But you know what, this transformation, there's different cards you can get, right, that come out to do with transformation, things like the Tower card, all of that kind of thing, the Death card. This is by far a much softer vibe, right? Just look at the card, like the purples, the way the amethysts are, and all of that kind of thing. It's like very I almost feel like my guides are saying that you as a couple have already pre-decided that 2020 was a year when there was going to be way more harmony within this connection, and that actually 2020 was a year when you're both going to be feeling so much more confident within your own selves, within your own life, within everything you were doing within your lives, and therefore that confidence also gets expressed and displayed within this connection, okay? I feel that's really positive. What's really interesting is usually, often on par ones, I think they're always a little bit more intense, but this is really interesting because this feels, it just, I suppose a little bit like this, the words here, gifted. I feel actually 2020 is going to be a gift for both of you. And despite any difficulties that have been going off before, and obviously I do know there's been difficulties, I know that either one or probably both of you has had problems to do with like establishing the way and how you want to create money in your life, and that actually money has also been a challenging point in 2019 and a bit of 2018. I'm also getting that has been quite a lot of healing that's gone off, and some of that healing has been like draining is what I'm getting. It's been draining and it's required a lot from you, and both of you have done this in your own ways, but actually it just really feels like this is a breakthrough year for both of you. What I would also say, and my guides are saying this is important, because your twin flame really reflects everything about where you're at, because we're human and because this is just how life is, we get ups and downs and things like that. If you feel like you're going into a bit of a low point in 2020, not saying there will be them, but I'm just saying it's a natural cycle of how things go. I do feel most of it is really positive, but you know, when you get those odd days when you're not feeling good, or you know, you get an intense week, you know how these things go. Just be really mindful about then how you are interacting with your twin flame, okay, in whatever way that might be, because that place of they'll just reflect back where you're at. And so there's a good chance that that vision that I had about you laughing and playing, and then it looks like it might become a bit argumentative, but then it diffuses itself. That's just the times when it's most likely that an argumentative thing might occur, or some distance or trigger might happen when you're starting to feel a bit low within yourself. So you just want to be super mindful about how you're communicating at those times, or how you're interacting with your twin at those times. Equally, you just want to notice if you can sense, and you'll be able to do this because you can always sense your twin's energy, if you sense that they are going through a bit of a challenging day or a bit of a challenging week, once again you just want to maybe just like hold like a bit more of a softer, compassionate space with things of how they're being communicated. And if your twin seems to be, or you can feel they're being a bit prickly to you in whatever way, just like, I would just almost say this is when you need to stand into that place of kind of like, I think, a real feminine energy vibe of just being holding space for somebody to have that experience and express their emotions without you taking it personally. And your Akashic Records are just like showing me a thing of like, you know, those the fruit machines, you know, when you can do gambling and then suddenly you get, say, like 3 pineapples all together. They're showing me that as in like under the words, like not taking things personally to do with the twin flame connection. That is like a really big thing to constantly remind yourself at points when there's like, you know, when there are places of tension, which naturally happens, just being able to have that mantra of like, I'm not taking this personally. And the cool thing is, I do think you'll have this really good ability, because I'm also, more we're talking, this feels like quite, as well as balance and harmony, it feels like being like quite aware of how psychic you naturally are, because we're all very psychic, right? And I do feel like you being able to tap into those moments when you feel maybe your twin is being prickly, and just being able to feel into, okay, why do they feel like that? Oh, it's happened like that. Oh, it's a bad day. Okay, cool. So the best way for me to support somebody that I care about in this situation is I will do this, or I will say this, or I will not do this, or I will not say this. And you'll totally know what you need to do from that intuitive kind of level. Also, like I say, because the twin is really just a reflection for you, it's then also about you sort of like when you're starting to feel some tensions coming into your own life, or you're getting challenged in a certain way, if you can just say back off, like have a salt bath, go to a float tank. I friggin' love infrared saunas and saunas in general for like sweating stuff out of me when things are intense. I think you'll also be able to get the deeper understanding about what you need to do to make your own personal situation more harmonious and more balanced, because your intuitive insights will really come through to you in any of those spaces. So salt baths, float tank, infrared saunas, steam room, there's something about that that will really help you specifically in 2020, because I'm really getting that you're able to access, I just feel like your guides, you probably, some of you are definitely going to be aware of your guides, like quite personally. And those of you that are not overly personally aware of your spirit guides, I can just see that they are so close around your energy field. It's like they're literally touching it. But I think that some of you can't quite see them yet, or you don't quite have that kind of really interactive relationship with them. But for some reason, going into some of these situations like the float tanks, like the saunas and stuff, it's almost just going to dissolve that border between you and them, and it means that any intuitive guidance they want to give you, you'll be able to receive so much easier. And I'm really getting that, and I feel I was quite specific, so I think that's something for you to be mindful about. Cool. So they're just like the most important things that I see coming through. I'm also just getting the words like peace, like it's a lot more relaxed, it's a lot calmer, and there's a lot more maturity both within each of you individually and therefore also within the connection. My guides are also just saying, like, obviously, and I got a feeling this is something they're going to tell me to say in every one of these piles, but do also remember that as much as this twin flame connection is really important, it really is about stimulating and understanding who you are, why you are here, what your life purpose is, and then helping you to reach that highest potential. So just keep in mind that that's very much the purpose of the twin flame dynamic. Like, you help each other do this, you support each other, you bring triggers up so that you both can see where you need to improve, you give guidance for the next steps forward. That's really what's going on here, and there's so much potential to activate and access and actualize that in 2020. So I friggin' love that. Now I've got a wild card for you. A bit like in the other video for 2020, I want to pull a totem spirit guide or animal spirit. So whatever animal we get, I'll obviously read out to you in the book, but what you want to do is this. Let's pull it out first. I love knowing what these are. Oh, nice. Dog spirit. Be loyal to what you love. So what you really want to do, and I would say with this, because quite often you can see lots of dogs in your reality, make sure it's a dog that looks like this, okay? So whenever you see a dog that looks like this in your physical reality, either literally or you see one in a magazine or, I don't know, on TV, whatever it might be, just pay attention that that's a really important sign from your, I would say, your Akashic guide, to really pay attention to what's currently going on to do with your twin flame connection, but also to do with your relationship with yourself, because there'll just be some important things that will be coming through, because this is now activated as your animal totem spirit to do with your twin flame connection for 2020. I do just also want to also say this is not necessarily your twin flames, like your twin flame relationships power animal, okay, but this is just a totem for 2020. Now let me just read what this says in the book. I'm going to read both shadow and light because I think it's important to play with both, particularly because you've got about balance and harmony. So let's just see what it says here. Okay, so dog spirit. Be loyal to what you love. Dog spirit appears to remind you that although change is a part of life and all of us are meant to evolve, our love and commitments remain strong. You are loved now and can trust that this higher love is true. Spirit loves you, and love has arrived in many forms now, manifesting the people you surround yourself with, expressed uniquely through them. Dog spirit also says, be true to that which you love, for now is a time of good fortune. Be steady as you recognize that people and things are always transforming. Your heart is loving and true, and dog spirit wants you to know that your steadfast commitment is experiencing and expressing love with attraction and to manifest more love. You deserve all of it. Have faith in Spirit's plan for you. That's so nice. Now let's just do the protection message as well. So loyalty to people and situations can turn into attachment that results in stagnation, enmeshment, and loss of integrity. Do you feel what will happen if you let a relationship evolve? Are you afraid that asking for a situation to change will make others see you as disloyal? Trust that when dog spirit appears, you are meant to accept the turning of the wheel of life and changing of fortunes. If you feel you are being betrayed or are growing apart from someone, let dog spirit reconnect you with your commitment to love in all its forms. Perhaps a relationship is meant to evolve. Perhaps you are meant to evolve too, so that you can experience the growth for which your soul yearns. Your greatest loyalty is to love, so be open to all its many guises, including self-love. You deserve the best, and that is what Spirit wants for you. I always think the power animal messages are just so cute. So cool. Have a think about and feel it into all of that. And then maybe you just want to occasionally over 2020 or whenever you listen to this, just if you're not sure about where to go with this twin flame connection or with your own self-growth, maybe just re-listen to this one, okay? Because I feel like it will be useful for you throughout the year. But cool, let's go on to the next pile. And also, just before I go, just remember I am on Instagram, AbigailGrace2311, and then my other YouTube site. But cool, speak to you guys soon. Hi guys, this is everybody who chose message number 2 for what your Akashic Records most want to tell you to do with your twin flame connection within 2020, for 2020. So let's see. As always, I'll see what I channel for you, and then we'll also have a look at the cards. Totally feel into your own intuition and everything to do with this as well. Let's see what happens. So the first thing I'm literally getting is power. I'm also getting that the one booby trap that you really need to be specifically mindful of within this connection for 2020 is power plays. But I'm also getting as well that if you can be really mindful of those power plays, you've actually got a huge amount of energy to create within this connection for 2020. But you know what? It really is important, and I'm getting this very specifically, I'm really getting this specifically, that actually just be mindful that you know the power dynamics that went off when you were growing up as a child, and then whatever power plays you've got into when you've been in other romantic relationships, and just try and see if you can find the pattern or find the triggers that either you trigger in somebody so that it becomes a power play, or they trigger within you to be a power play. Because if you can sort this out to do with your past, it then won't come out within this twin flame dynamic. And I'm really getting that 2020 is a year that you can massively shift that, and it's going to bring such a release of energy, and that release of energy is actually going to be something which is, I'm getting like romance is coming in, and just like real creativity and like a real like magnetism towards each other. But that's only going to come in if you really work with that power dynamic and you're able to shift that and mold that and sculpt that. And my guides are saying that this is 100% possible, and you can nail that within the first 6 months of 2020. Which, wow, that's flipped out. Wow, inner child just flipped out there. Yeah, you see, this is what I'm saying about just going back to the childhood experiences, making sure you understand what the power plays are. My guides are also, your Akashic Records is actually saying that the thing is, there is something incredibly creative about you when you were a child. And actually, if you actually go back and sort out your past to do with power plays, you'll actually release a lot of creativity, not only in this moment now to do with your twin flame dynamic, but also it's almost like your inner child, that consciousness within you is also going to receive a huge amount of creativity. And if any of you are not quite sure what your life purpose is yet, you will absolutely start to know your life purpose when this happens, and it'll become super, super clear, which is very cool. My guides are also saying you might want to just check out my other video to do with twin flame, how your childhood influences are currently affecting it. That will give you so much insight on top of whatever this reading is. So I'll leave a link for that one below. By the way, I really like the overall vibes of like your guys' inner childs, because they're super cute and like mischievous and playful. But I'm also getting they're quite protective of you too. And actually, I feel like it's important that you I think because of situations that have occurred with your twin flame, not just in this lifetime but past lifetimes, your inner child is a little bit wary of your twin flame, and I can tell that your twin flame's inner child is also a little bit wary of you. So that's not a problem whatsoever, but it's just about maybe dialoguing with your inner child consciousness in meditation or something like that, and just finding out what it is that they don't feel completely relaxed with to do with your twin flame, and what you need to do to help make them feel relaxed in that situation. They will have some incredible guidance for you, and it's definitely about trusting what you get. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I dialogue with my inner child so much of the time. My guides have told me that almost more than past lives and any other thing, people's inner childs influences their physical reality way more than anything else. So it's really important to build a relationship and a communication with them. Oh wow, they're all flying out. This is what I mean. You know, one of the first word I got was power. I do feel there's so much energy here. So it's just about using that in a really constructive way, which I do totally feel that you can do. For some reason, I'm feeling we should pull 2 goddess cards for you guys. My guides are saying this is the thing, you see. If you just bring in like a lot more of a relaxed, soft energy, both with how you see yourself. So be like really nice and kind and loving to yourself, and like be really clear about what you feel proud about. I don't know why this is important, but if you get really, really clear about what you feel proud to do with yourself and your life, and also have this as like almost a running commentary within your mind and all the rest of it, this is just going to do so much to somehow start changing this power struggle that's going off in different levels and different ways. And not only that, it's also going to give you more confidence, which will allow you to access more of your creativity, which will mean that you've got way more idea, or you've got way more direction, or you take way more action to do with your life purpose. So I feel this is really cool. Flexibility, healing chaos. So this is the 8 of Pentacles, and this is the 7 of Wands. What do we have here? This one flew out, so I know this is significant. Let's see what you get. Okay, 4 of Pentacles, and the 2 goddess cards you've got is ambition and mastery. Okay, I'm just going to move that aside so you can see everything. Okay, just give me a minute while I feel into this. You also do the same. Okay, the first thing that's coming out to me, I just really feel that one of the things that you need to work with in 2020 to do with your twin flame connection is basically how you communicate, how you're feeling. But this is the way that your Akashic guides are saying the best ways to do this is when you're going to communicate to do with your twin flame in whatever way that might be, if it's email, if it's like actually on the phone, if it's actually when you meet up at a coffee shop, or if it's just when you're in meditation and you're chatting to them, what you really need to do is, if you're going to start to discuss with them some things which were challenging from the past, either in your life or in their life or in your relationship dynamic, anything to do with that, before you have any of those conversations, you just want to tap into your own intuition, because I'm really seeing this here with your with the star over the sixth sense here. Just really tap into your intuition and work out how is the best way to express how you're feeling, to do with your twin, to do with your past, to do with your present, to do with whatever's going on when it's slightly emotionally charged. Don't just go and start saying stuff or communicating. Just pause for a little bit and just tap into your inner guidance about how to communicate something. Because I just feel that for some reason, if you come out with a lot of emotion to do with something, it's going to unstable your connection with your twin a little bit, and it's actually going to cause them to be defensive and maybe almost like shut you down a little bit. And I feel that's partly because they're working at being able to acknowledge and appreciate and express their own emotions. It's not something that they find easy. So when you suddenly come out with a lot of emotion, even if it's a positive thing, sometimes it feels really unknown to them, and it doesn't feel comfortable to them, and it feels a bit chaotic, and their immediate reaction is, oh, I need to pull away because this is going to make me feel unstable. If I feel unstable, I'm not going to feel so in control and so like powerful within my own life. Therefore, I just need to disconnect. And really weirdly, my guides will sometimes give me messages through my physical body, even though I don't like it when they do this. But anyway, they just have done. And my right ear started ringing and buzzing. And so I can just tell as well that this is like, really be mindful if they're going through a challenging situation with work or money, or you're going through a challenging situation with work or money, or there's some kind of change within that, even if it's a positive change, moving from one job to another job or anything like that. Just really think about making sure that when you communicate to them about this in whatever way, you already feel like quite calm and stable and grounded. I just feel that's really, really important. And actually, this is kind of the energy that I feel that you need to hold to do with stuff like that. I know that sometimes the Four of Pentacles can be seen as like being possessive and kind of grabbing, but actually for some reason, despite this picture, I'm just feeling like you just need to be quite like a real anchor for yourself in certain situations, particularly when it's to do with things that are becoming emotional, either for you or for your twin. And the calmer and the more grounded and stable you can be as an anchor, the more your twin will be able to stay present with you and stay present with the connection, and your connection will grow, okay? And I do think this sort of some ways comes back to the power plays, and I do think it comes back to something to do with both of your childhoods and how that is currently playing out. But that, if you can do that, it's going to really start to really break and change a pattern within your connection and your communication. And not only that, it's, to be honest, it's going to do something within you, which is actually going to mean that you're able to, in whatever way, become more successful in another part of your life, because it's almost like your energy field becomes way more stable and coherent, particularly in stress points, okay? And therefore, it's able to, it's almost like, my guides are saying one of the best ways you can appreciate this kind of concept about being an anchor and being stable despite circumstances going off around you is look on my See It Like a Psychic channel, and I've got a video about the highest potential of the Taurus archetype. That's the vibe that you need to get when things become a little bit emotional, or things start to change, or stress points come in, okay? Because it's a natural part of life. I'm not saying that 2020 will be stressful, not at all, but I'm saying that as we change and as we grow, we're always going through these cycles. So actually one of the things that you are just working with as a soul for 2020 is being able to master your ability to hold a lot more stability within yourself and within your life, regardless of what is going on around you. And that, my guides are just saying, is going to do, and this is the words, fuck loads for your twin flame connection. Because actually whatever difficulties you've had in the past, quite a lot of it has come off you both being unstable in some way, or kind of like a bit erratic in some way, particularly on an emotional level. And I'm really, really getting that that is something that you just transform in 2020, and both of you do. And it's almost like all of that energy that's like coming out that would have actually gone in a way that was unstable actually then can come out and be really, really creative. And there's something about this, I don't know, I just really kind of feel like softness, like from this card here and these two cards here, and just the overall thing from what my guides are saying, like softness is key. Softness is so key to once again just bringing a lot more success into your life. And I don't just feel it's just to do with this relationship, the twin flame connection. I just can see it's like I kind of like see you sitting in almost like I don't know, it's kind of like you're in a mythical place and you're kind of like sitting on this like beautiful landscape, and all of this energy is coming out around you, but it's all kind of been sculpted and weaved, and it's interthreading within each other all the way around you. It kind of looks like this, you know, when you get one of those sort of like a crystal ball, but it's got that electricity thing in the middle, so that when you touch the sides of the crystal ball, it kind of like those, I don't know, that purple light or whatever light is, it comes out and it touches your fingers, and it's like every time you move your fingers, that light from inside the crystal balls kind of comes out to do with I'm going to post a picture here so you know what I'm talking about. Basically that is kind of like what I think that it is that you need to do with it, sort of like, I know that seems kind of quite intense energy when it's coming out in that way, but it's not, because it's more like it's just moving and adapting to do with the response of the environment around it. So with that like ball or whatever with the light inside it, when hands come on either side, it just connects and joins into those hands. When it goes the other side with the hands, it connects and joins into those hands. And it's kind of got this flowing thing. And for some reason, I'm feeling that the softer that you are to do with yourself and all experiences in life within 2020, the more connection that you're going to get. And it's not, like I say, it's not just going to affect your twin flame connection. But in order to be able to really have that real softness and that genuine softness, which is also kind of really going to attract your twin flame towards you, and you'll be very magnetic, almost like a little bit like this. You do it through really sort of mastering your emotions and really like feeling it, going intuitively into how you should communicate things before you communicate things, because then you'll know exactly what to say and how to say to get the most advantageous response from your twin, but also from your job or your housemate or your family member. And this will automatically have like a compound interest effect and bring you so much more success in other areas of your life, because it will also therefore make your vibration super coherent and stable, which I said obviously check out that Taurus video, because it will really give you the idea of how that works. Because the more stable you are, the more that life can bring things to you, because you're not constantly changing your vibrational state. In which case, let's say you really want you really want to go on an amazing holiday for 2 weeks in Hawaii, right? The thing is, you send out that signal and that's great. Now, the thing is, then if you have an emotional setback to do with something, it could be something seemingly non-related to Hawaii. So for example, let's go with the twin flame connection. Some little setback thing happens there that takes you off emotionally. It changes your vibration. And then suddenly, instead of it being all coherent to do with everything that you want in life, including that Hawaii holiday, it suddenly goes super erratic in every way. And that like Hawaiian holiday that's, let's just say, is this flower that was coming towards you while you had a consistent vibration, as soon as you suddenly get emotionally pulled off in some kind of way because of a power play to do with whatever thing within your life, it then this holiday that was coming towards you within your gravitational field suddenly just like has no idea how to get to you, because this is suddenly flicking all over the place, which is say your vibration, and that then means that this holiday doesn't know how to get to you. Now I know that might seem a little bit weird, but that's kind of how it works. And like I say, do check out that other video to do with the Taurus archetype, because I really feel like what will absolutely happen for you in 2020 is you're going to get so aware of your inner child consciousness. You're going to be healing power plays from the past. You're going to be gaining more emotional self-mastery. And this is just going to make you potent and powerful. And it's not only going to attract your twin to do with you, towards you, but many other opportunities. Then your only thing is holding that consistent vibration to do with that kind of like everything that we just talked about there. If you can do that, all of these things will join to you, and you'll be surprised where you'll be at by the end of 2020. Okay, and that's just completely how I really feel about that. But also, please just check in with your inner child to see what it is they're feeling a bit uncertain about to do with your twin flame, and then see if you can get your inner child to tell you what your twin flame's inner child is feeling unstable about you, because that will also give you guidance. But yeah, I just feel like that is exactly what you need to do there. And if you can do that, I just feel like you're going to be really successful just with so many things, to be honest, with so many things. But it really is that mastering the ability to be able to hold a really coherent vibration within you despite what is going off within your physical reality. And I do feel like this is something that you can absolutely nail. But like I say, also go back to your childhood and also look at the do the pick a card to do with childhood influences, because there's something really important there to do with any power plays that come off within this dynamic. So now let's just see. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to pull a power totem animal for you for 2020. So this is basically whatever animal you see here. Let's see what you get. Oh, nice. Buffalo spirit. The abundant universe will provide. That's cool. Also number 10, I know this is like the Wheel of Fortune, but it's also the Magician and the Fool. So it's lots, you could have a real paradigm shift in 2020 with your twin flame relationship if you can do everything that we just talked about there. But also, how are you going to work with this in 2020? Whenever you hear anything about a buffalo, see a buffalo on TV, on a t-shirt, whatever it might be, just pay attention that this is something really important, and notice what's going on within you and around you on every kind of level, because your Akashic Records are trying to give you a signal and a sign to do with something, okay? So just be mindful though, this is your totem animal for 2020 to do with your twin flame connection. This is not necessarily your power animal for your twin flame connection. That's something very, very different, okay? But this is the totem, the signal, the sign from your Akashic Records in 2020. When it appears, you know this important stuff is about to happen or has happened or something to do with that. So now let me just read out this to you. I'm going to read out both the positives and the light, the positives and the shadows for this card, just so that you can be as fully prepared as possible for 2020, which I do feel like will be, I feel like you're going to, and this is the words, and I really don't use this kind of phrasing, so this is from your records, you're really going to like basically kick ass, is what I'm getting. But it is also going to require discipline, but you can nail this totally. So it says here, Buffalo Spirit comes to you to remind you of the amazing manifesting power of gratitude and the extraordinary potential available to you when you adopt a mindset of abundance. The ancient people of the ancient people of the Americas saw the buffalo as a symbol of abundance because the herds roam far and wide and provide so many gifts: the meat, the hide, the bones. The tribes who hunted the buffalo used every bit of them, wasting nothing, appreciative of the abundance. So too do you have many gifts available to you. Buffalo Spirit appears to let you know that you are in a powerful time to manifest your desires, not by force or pushing, but rather by following a natural path that rises up before you, trusting that there is plenty to go around. Whether it is love, money, inspiration, or support, it's all there for you to claim. When you're grateful, you immediately align yourself with the truth that the world is rich and teeming with resources. There is always more than enough, and you are always enough. At this time, you can expect all your intentions and needs to come into a form that is right for you. Your heartfelt gratitude is making you a magnet for miracles. Buffalo Spirit's message is to remember that you co-create your reality in partnership with Spirit. So offer up your thanks and your prayers even before you see conditions you desire, not just for yourself but for others too. Then you will quickly see the results in tangible ways. Gratitude has the magic to grow the good. So offer thanks and praise as you acknowledge all that you have and all that is possible. Now, the protection message is, when Buffalo Spirit visits you with a message of protection, He is asking you to shift your thinking from poverty consciousness to one where you trust the universe will provide. Have you been falling into financial insecurity, worrying that there will not be enough money in the future? Have you been stressing and feeling sorry for yourself, worrying that because you have no romantic relationship now, you will never have one? Do you see scarcity where there is in fact abundance? Are you comparing yourself to others and falling short? Self-pity, entitlement, fear, and lack are all thought viruses that seduce you into the darkness. Buffalo Spirit nudges you to make a gratitude list and be mindful of your thoughts at this time. Even if outer events have appeared to challenge your beliefs in abundance, outer conditions are temporary. If you are suffering from the malaise of fear that you are impoverished, realise that it is only poverty of perception and perspective. Prayer, communication with your higher self, and gratitude, coupled with compassion, selfless service, will snap you right out of it. Give to someone who is less than you, be thankful for the tiniest things, and say affirmations. Then you will remember abundance is the true nature of the world. Nice. I mean, you know how the first word that came out for you guys was power? I mean, just friggin' look at the buffalo. I mean, it's not just power, it's like a power with gusto, you know, and particularly they're very connective, right? Because they are in these massive herds. So I do feel like there's going to be so much support for you, but it's not, this isn't, you know, you always have spiritual support, but this is like really very physical support is going to be around you. And I really, actually, I feel like you're really going to be increasing your psychic strength as well, but it's going to come through sorting out your internal relationship with your inner child. I really, really feel that. So cool, I hope you enjoyed that. You can find me on Abigail Grace 2311 on Instagram. Also, do check out that other video to do with the Taurus archetype, particularly because also the buffalo is a little bit like a bull. It's got that energy. So once again, I do feel this will be really important. And then we will go on to the next reading. Cool. So hi guys, this is for everybody that chose pile number 3 for what your Akashic Records most want to tell you right now to do with your twin flame connection in 2020. And this is timeless, so at any point before or during 2020, this reading will be relevant. For some weird reason, I just instantly got with this pile. This is, I don't know, it just feels very, very different to do with the other piles, just instantly. Let's just see what we get. I'm getting things like magic, abundance, and joy. Okay, so I'm really feeling that this pile is a pile that's absolutely going to be coming into, if you're not already, I would imagine quite a few of you are already in a really good connective space with your twin flame. Like 100%, I feel that. And actually, I mean, this says mediumship, but to me, this kind of, I don't know if you can see it, this almost reminds me of like 2 heads with the third eyes coming together and loads of energy coming out between both, but it's coherent and it's stable and it's mirroring and it's beautiful. Yeah, I just really feel that, and it's super loving and it's soft and it's supportive. Yeah, really, really feel that. I'm really getting as well that this pile can really help each other become, you and your twin flame can really help you both become more abundant in your life in whatever way you want that to be. So for some people, I do think that's money. For some people, I think that's to do with their life purpose, like getting more on track with their life purpose. For other people, I even think it's stuff like, I don't know, like something to do with your physical body. Like, I think it's about like you loving and appreciating your own bodies more and feeling able to express your physical body in a different type of way. I don't know, just something to do with that. I really, really get that. Let's see. I feel like that should go over there for some reason. Oops, I also feel there's quite a lot of energy here because the cards keep popping out a little bit. For some reason, I want this to go on top of here again too. It's weird, you guys, this just feels very, very different. Let me just see what else I'm getting, just give me a minute. I'm getting that actually both of you have got a really good connection with your heart chakras. So obviously we have cords going out from everywhere to loads of different people and things, but I can just see that the cord to do with you and your twin flame, first of all, it just looked really, really green. So obviously I can tell a lot of healing has been going off between both of you. But actually then it went into a more like pinky sunsetty colour. So it actually feels like, really quite a sensual connection. So when I say sensual, I mean, it just feels very, very supportive, but also it does feel fun, but it doesn't feel like risky fun. It feels like fun where you just kind of like, you lose track of time. It's got that kind of feel to it. Like I suppose what I'm saying is it feels really, really comfortable, like really, really comfortable. I don't know why with this pile, like I do feel like there's a business element as well going off. And I do think this is this thing about helping each of you become more abundant in some sort of way. And I think it's different for everybody, but I feel that it's really important that you really listen to what your twin flame says during 2020 in whatever way that might be, because what they are going to say will often be channeled information from your Akashic Records without either of you even knowing. That will absolutely happen, and you'll know when it happens, because you know what, it's really going to hit you like a deep knowing, or you'll feel very emotional when you're told it, or it would just have some potency and gravitas to it. Just also be mindful that also during 2020 you'll be doing the same thing for your twin flame. So if in some way maybe your twin flame needs to just have a little bit of tiny space, not long, but even if it's just like, I don't know, a day or two when they're not as communicative or whatever, don't panic, but just consider, have you actually given them some information unknowingly from their Akashic Records, which is then something that they're having to process, because actually it's a really deep soul truth and they really needed to know that, but it's also quite it's just quite powerful what you've said to them, and so they're just needing a bit of time to absorb it. Just know that any time when they are sort of slightly, it seems like detaching from you in some way, 99% of the time my guides are saying that during 2020, that's purely just because they're processing information that you've given them on a soul level. That's it. So it's literally nothing to do with you. It's more to do with them and their own self-growth. Bearing in mind that you will have the same thing too. And my guides are saying that when you feel... when you've had some sudden awareness from your twin flame, which actually on a deep level is from your Akashic Records, so a deep soul truth, you're more likely to be a little bit clingy on them. So you just want to be careful that you just don't do that also, because I feel like they will detach to integrate. I feel like you'll want to connect even more to integrate, but I think you just have to be mindful that speak to a friend to do that as well. So don't put it all on your twin, because I do feel like they will then potentially find that a little bit intense. But for some of you, I'm going to be honest with you, you don't even have to worry, because I think you're at the level where you both can basically work with your own energy, and therefore you can totally accept, integrate and acknowledge your twin's energy, which just literally mirrors you, but you'll know where you're at between that. And obviously sometimes it changes, you know, so just go with that, just go with what makes for you sense there. I didn't even say that correctly, but you know what I mean. Anyway, let's see. Oh, nice. So we have, I do love this one as well. So 10 of crystals, which in this cup is, I think this is like the water ones. So 10 of cups. Oh, wow. We have the Knight of Cups. And then we have the Ace of Swords. And then we have here, ground, smoky quartz. Here, rebirth. And then we've got a lot of energy going on here, so let's just see. So we have earth connection. That's so pretty. Then we have the in-between. And then we have compassion. Okay, so I'm just going to spread these out so we can see them all. So now let me just feel into these cards. You also totally do the same. Okay, so instantly I'm getting for this pile that during 2020, you will have a lot more physical contact with your twin flame, like 100%. For a few of you, and you'll know who you are, because your relationship won't be that far developed at the moment, you're just going to have way more connection and communication than normal. But the cool thing is, it's going to be very it's just going to be way more stable, way more like consistent, way more peaceful, and this is the big thing, just way more productive for both of you. So I feel like emotional highs and lows that you might have both been on with each other during previous years, this year is actually going to be as stable as fuck is what I'm getting. Like, I'm really getting that. But I am also still getting like what I channeled before, and it makes sense here with the in-between card. I do still feel like you just need to be mindful of, you really need to honour the fact that you really are two souls with the exact same energetic frequency on Earth. That's intense, right? Because when you ever get two objects that vibrate at the exact same frequency, you get natural frequency, and natural frequency causes resonance. Resonance always increases the energy going off between both parts that came together. So that naturally happens in the twin flame connection. You just need to honour this at all times and realise that when you feel low, and if your twin feels low, that will get an accentuated low between you. But also when you feel high and your twin flame feels high, you'll get a higher and even higher energy between you. And you just have to really start to be I think be wise to do with that, and understand how to interact with your twin when you're at different extremes within life, which will naturally happen. And I do feel like the big way that you do that is really by having a lot of compassion. Just having a lot of compassion, just for like, you know what, my guides are saying it's like this, for just being human. I think that is the really big thing. And I think the more that you can also like take on this concept, not just to do with your twin, but also to do with you, and also just to do with other people, that kind of like, you know what, I mean, we're all just like souls in a human body, and quite often we are like, what the fuck is going off here? This is crazy. And just having that like compassion to do with that, and also a bit of like it's not emotional detachment, but it's almost like a mental detachment, so you can see things for what they really are without getting pulled up into some intense situation, which only got generated because of the fact that it will only happen in 2020 if you just don't honour the fact that you mirror each other and you amplify each other's energy for the better and for the worse. The more that you can understand this and know how to interact with that type of energy that goes off between the two of you, the more grounded and loving and nurturing and stable, and the more development that will occur in 2020 with this relationship. That is categorically it. And I really feel that you guys, you're totally, I mean, I would say this is almost, this is destined to happen this year, because I think you've already worked on yourselves a lot to get to that place of starting to have like I said, I could really see that really open heart energy, but then it's also quite sensual, playful, but just like soft and reassuring. You know, I just really feel that with this card here, with this card, 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 with all of them. And I think the main reason why you've clicked onto this video is like Ace of Swords. It's just for you to really appreciate and acknowledge that this is where you're at, and actually it is a great place to be in, regardless of maybe what it seems like within your twin flame connection. I really feel that you're really starting to understand who you are, what you are, how things play out on Earth, how to work with things to become successful, how to interact with people to get the best out of that dynamic and relationship, not just your twin flame, but other family members, like all of that kind of thing. You know, I just really feel like you're stepping into that kind of space. What I would say is the one booby trap with this is, I just think you just need to just be mindful that you don't freak each other out in terms of the closer and the closer and the closer that you kind of guys get, right? Like the more the energy and the intensity builds between the two of you. And so sometimes the closer and closer you get, the more likely there can be somebody pulls away, or somebody suddenly has a freak out, or somebody dissociates, or somebody gets emotional, or whatever. I just think it's like, just be mindful of that. And if you start to feel yourself doing it, just kind of like ground yourself a little bit. Just have a little bit of a breather, go and do yoga, watch something on Netflix, go and meet friends, just do something just to take the intensity out of how you're feeling, and then you'll be able to re-engage back in again with your twin without there being any issue. Equally, if you kind of feel like they're starting to have a freak out to do with something, same thing, just kind of like back off a little bit, give them space, but still completely hold your heart open, because I do really feel that is the one of many amazing things that you're in to do with this twin flame connection currently. This heart chakra energy that you have between them and you is really, really, I mean, it's just pimp currently. And I do see that going into 2020 as well. And so I think if ever anything just gets difficult, what you can do is just go into meditation, just quickly check in and see if you can psychically see what the energy is like from your heart to their heart. If it's looking heavy or dark in any way, just call in guides or like angels or something like that and ask them to clear out the energy within your heart. And then you just want to decide what color you want energy to go from your heart to their heart. Choose a color that feels, I would kind of go with the green to start with, like what I originally can see for you guys, and then once that's built up, then change that green color to like a pinky, orangey, yellowy sunset color, and just do that. And you might want to do it for a couple of days in a row, or you'll just know the right amount of time. Just do that, because I actually think you guys are getting into such like a telepathic space with each other that you can actually make significant changes just by doing things on an energetic level. But the way that you decide when to do stuff on an energetic level is you read your physical reality. The moment your physical reality starts to give you a sensation or a feeling or a suggestion that there's a bit of intensity or a slight incoherence coming between you and your twin, then just go and do that energetic work. Because the better you get at almost like sensing this coming and doing stuff to almost like counteract and diffuse that, the further your twin flame connection will go in 2020. My guides are also saying, just also remember that what we've just talked about in terms of that applies to anything in physical reality for you in 2020. The universe is going to be giving you, I feel, very subtle signs the moment that something is starting to go out of alignment or is starting to be incoherent for you. If you can pick up on those signals really early on and then do something on an energetic way just to like harmonize the energy and then take slightly different actions in physical reality, you will absolutely transform so many things in your life. And I think this is like the rebirth thing, but it always looks like such a soft rebirth, this card, I feel almost like a pink rose going off there. And this is the thing, it's kind of like you have the ability to be so sensitive and in tune with your physical reality on a 3D level, but also on a 5D level in 2020, that actually you'll almost be able to become a bit like a magician and start to change how things are occurring without actually taking too much physical action, because you spot something before it's even happening. You do something energetic wise just to harmonize, neutralize, take the intensity out. Whenever you do that, I do also feel like the universe or your spirit guides will also give you some additional insight to do with whatever it is that you're making subtle changes on, and then you'll have a better idea what action to take in physical reality, which then just brings a much more successful outcome. And this won't just apply to your twin flame connection, it will apply to so many things. And in fact, my guides are even saying the more that you use this ability in physical reality not to do with your twin flame, the easier and more coherent your twin flame connection is going to become and will be. And you know what, I also just actually really feel that from this. I really, really feel that from this energy card here. It's like, look at that. It's like so much energy is going off there, like in the sixth chakra, but also with the crown chakra. And then also I really feel like with the heart chakra. So in all honesty, I'd also say the 3 chakras that are really important for you in 2020 and making sure they're clear and in alignment is your heart, your 6th chakra, and your 7th chakra. Like I really, really feel that massively. So just know that if things start to go, or you're a bit unsure about anything in 2020, just do a little bit of a meditation to clear out those chakras, and then just ground yourself just really by being calm and using your own breath. I think breath is one of the best ways you can ground yourself. Or maybe walking out in nature, that kind of thing. And I really think you'll know exactly what you need to do to move forward, because I kind of think you will be getting like lots of new ideas and different perspectives on life. And I just feel it's almost like I can see the energy around you in 2020, and it's not only just like really coherent, but like your aura is becoming a lot bigger. So it's kind of spreading out over a much larger area, and it's going to mean that you have a lot more influence on your environment and on the people and things that come into your environment. And it's also because your aura is so big that you'll be able to sense things about to occur before they happen, just because your aura can spread out into different time zones more easily now it's expanded. And I don't know, this is just going to kind of give you, I'm getting like a very different I'm almost like seeing somebody standing on the top of something like a huge mountain, and it's a super clear day, and they are able to see like 360 degrees the whole way around them. And it's kind of like you will have the ability to make much clearer, concise decisions, choices and interactions in 2020, because you have this ability now to see so much more than just what is straightforward in front of you. And I do feel that you've done that because I just think you're so much more in alignment with you and yourself and your soul, and that's also being reflected in your twin flame relationship. One other thing though, your Akashic Records have been like, please tell them this, it's really important. Grounding is going to be critical for 2020. It really is, because the thing is, the bigger your aura gets and the more it expands, not just in, say, this reality, but in other realities, which then is going to give you a lot of psychic information, right? So the more psychic information you're able to get, the more important, and please trust me because I'm psychic and I know this one so well, the more grounded you have to be. Otherwise, it can actually, having more psychic information can become highly destabilizing. Now, I'm not saying this in any way to put any fear within you, because it's not the case, because I know you're going to bosh this. But I know you're going to bosh this because I'm telling it you now, and you'll remember it in those moments in the future when you really need to, and you will ground yourself. And remember, breath is a great way to do that. There's so many different ways. And you know what? Because I do feel that you're really developing your psychic senses, just ask. Ask your intuition, ask your soul, ask your spirit guides, ask your subconscious mind. When you need grounding, get them to tell you, or get your mind to come up with what's the best way you can do it. And like I say, it can be walking. It can be, I even find salt baths grounding, to be honest with you. Sometimes it's even being with friends. Do you want to know another one? And this is the honest truth. Sometimes it's binging on a Netflix series. Now, I know that might sound so weird, but trust me, that it does ground somebody's energy and physical reality. If you're somebody that has expanded psychic abilities, okay? Because for other people that are already very earthy, for them to like watch a load of Netflix is actually ungrounding for them. And I know this sounds really weird, but for somebody who's like way more psychic on that kind of level, actually it's really grounding. It's really grounding, and it can be super stabilizing and calming to your energy field. Obviously, just don't then get stuck on too many Netflix. But you know what I mean? What I'm saying to you is, trust whatever you get to do with what is grounding, because what you get is exactly what you need to do, and then just carry it out. And that is really what I really feel for this pile. This is cool though. I really like it. And just remember those chakras. The 7th chakra, 6th chakra, 4th chakra. They're really important. So I suppose also your guides are just saying, this is specifically your guides now. I can see a whole load of them. It's like they put their hands up with like, say this next question. But a load of them are just, somebody's just asked this and they're all agreeing with this. Whenever you do feel like ungrounded, or things are getting challenging in whatever way it might be, or the twin flame connection is getting intense, just go and have a bit of Reiki and ask the Reiki person to specifically work on those chakras. It will really help. And then just allow a bit of Netflix binging to then integrate the Reiki session, or being with mates. You just need to then do something completely different to just completely integrate that healing session. So also just check out one of my videos on See It Like a Psychic, which is about integration time, because that's something that will be useful when and if you do use that. But now what we're going to do is I'm going to pull your totem animal spirit for 2020 to do with your twin flame connection. So whatever animal we pull here, just be mindful, this is not necessarily the power animal for your actual twin flame connection, but this is just the totem animal spirit for 2020. So whenever you see, hear, or I don't know, get something to do with this animal appearing, just know it's a really important message for you to do with what's currently happening, what's about to happen. It's just something you need to pay attention to, because just know your spirit guides are dropping this into your reality and into your consciousness at exactly the moment that you need to be really mindful about something in whatever way that might be. So let's see what you get. Oh, nice. You get horse spirit. Freedom is yours. Also 33. You see, this is the thing. This pile, it really does feel like you've gone to a new level of consciousness within yourself, within your soul, within your twin flame connection. Like, I really, really feel that. I felt that even before I pulled out the cards. Like, you guys feel different. So let's just read this, see what it says. Let's have a look. So 33. I'm going to read out both the positives, the light and the shadow for this card, just so that you can be fully prepared for everything in 2020. So it says, horse spirit, freedom is yours. When horse spirit appears, you are gifted with the spirit of movement and freedom. It is time for travel and adventure, whether that means a trip somewhere or taking a different type of journey, one of freedom of choice. Horse spirit reminds you that no matter the circumstances, you have free will and choices that can take you far away to a better place. A better situation, a better state of being, for there is no one but you to rein in your will to make a different decision. You are capable of making powerful choices that will affect you for a long time to come. Horses are sociable animals and known to be a friend to mankind, willing to carry us forward when we need it. Horse spirit reminds you that help will be available to you whenever you need it, and companions will be by your side wherever you choose to go, whatever direction you choose to travel. Life is an adventure, and horse spirit wants you to know that whatever choices you make, you have great spirit within you, invisible yet holding you up and always walking by your side. If your inquiry is about a relationship, you can set your heart free to experience love in all forms. Spirit whispers to you that the gift of freedom is yours if you allow yourself to break out of your perfectionism and stubbornness. Make a move and enjoy the freedom of letting go of the need to control. So, protection message. Are you feeling stuck? Has your spirit been broken by challenges you have faced? Your current choices may not seem the best, but you are not seeing the clearing ahead where you can break free and run. Whatever your choices right now, they can lead you to exhilarating freedom, so trust the guidance of spirit. Horse spirit is here to tell you that adventure calls, and you will soon realise your power is greater than you think. Perhaps your frustration and feelings of being fenced in are the result of being too much on your high horse, unwilling to come down to earth and join the herd that wants to support you. Being in control and in charge can be overrated. It's time to loosen up, drop the reins, let go, and prance with others just for the fun of it. Nice. Cool, I really like this. This is cool. I feel there's a lot of connection as well. My best friend, her main power animal is a horse spirit. So I don't know, it's something cute. Just lots of connection here for sure. Cool, so just remember this reading for any points within 2020. I think it will always help to give you some guidance, because that's the intention I've set in with it. If at any point as well you do want some kind of twin flame healing, I have a specific like a product reading to do with that on Etsy, so you can always look for that if you need that in the future. And also I'll leave the links for my See It Like a Psychic YouTube channel, and I am on Instagram, Abigail Grace 2311, post loads of stuff there. But other than that, this just feels, you know what, fuck, it's so nice, because I know the twin flame journey can be intense, and I just really feel like, I don't know, you know, the real intensity, you know, the really hard shit that is hardcore, that really makes your soul grow through intensity. You know what, that's not 2020. Like, it's just so, it is liberating, it's soft, it's nurturing, it's sensual, it's awesome. Just stay grounded when it all is even more pimping than you can ever imagine. So nice. I'll see you on another reading.